click. There's a click.
AK Music.
Woo! Now we can do this shit. Okay, all right. So doing a demonstration of the Levo 2. This little guy right here is a herb infuser. And for those that don't know, herb infusers, like a machine like this, like the Levo 2, basically gets your dry herb and it gets your, like, let's say your oil. That can come in the form of avocado oil, canola oil, nope, not canola oil, olive oil, MCT oil, coconut oil, or in this case, butter, which is what we're going to be doing in this video. It goes without saying that dry herb marijuana isn't the only dry herb that exists. So there's lavender, you know, there's basil, cilantro, but we're not going to be working with those types of herbs today, guys. We're going to be working with some Mary Jane, and that's the herb that we're working with today with the Levo, okay? So the first thing I wanted to talk about is the infuser, right? Why would you want to use an infuser machine? If you're the kind of individual that you're looking to basically do edibles, if you're the kind of individual that's pretty much looking to consume your THC in a edible form or in a liquid form, and you want it to last a little bit longer, maybe you want to basically, like, you know, have an edible, a little snack or a little drink of something, you know, infused with THC before you go into work, and you basically don't want to fucking smell like weed the whole goddamn day. So the whole point is, this is like an undercover high that you're gonna have at work while you're relaxing, okay? So let's pretty much talk about the materials that are gonna come with this machine. So I'm gonna do a little full turn of the Levo here. As you can see here in the back of the machine, it has a power cord. It's actually pretty convenient that it lets you wrap it around. So if you ever gotta move this guy on the go, it doesn't weigh a lot, to be honest. But if you ever got to get this guy on the go, it's not something that's going to weigh a whole lot. Coming back over to the front, it does have a digital screen that's going to give you the information. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to get it hooked up eventually. All right, so we got this guy hooked up and powered up. The first thing I'm going to do is turn this guy back around. As you can see, there's a button here all the way towards the left or right, depending on how you're looking at the machine. You're gonna go ahead or hold it. There we go. You're gonna go ahead and hold it to power it on. That's gonna get this machine going. You're gonna see the interface. It's gonna say Levo 2. From here, everything else is pretty straightforward. It's gonna ask you to choose your cycle, okay? Before we start choosing the cycle, I want to talk about what the processes are with this machine. This machine doesn't only give you the ability to infuse, but it also has the ability to decarboxylate. I'm not going to get too much into the sciences because I'm not a Harvard graduate when it comes to weed. I'm just a long-time smoker. But basically, decarboxylation, what you're getting there is when you have, for instance, your herb in its green form here, the only way you're going to extract the most THC out of it is if you add heat to it, which in most cases, the most popular way of adding heat is adding a flame to it and light it up and smoke it. But decarboxylating is pretty much like sticking your weed in the oven. And when you stick it in the oven and you bake it at a certain temperature for a certain time, it makes it so that you can utilize more of that THC. It's almost as if the plant itself is like holding the material like a hater. You know, it's like skimping out, but when you stick it in the oven, Betty Crocker style, it comes out and it basically wants to make it rain on you, THC style. All right, so that's the whole idea. You decarboxylate, the machine will set it up for you, and then in the second phase after decarboxylation is when the infusion comes in. You pretty much introduce either your butter or you introduce your oil, avocado oil, olive oil, MCT oil, whatever oil it is that you're using. You just want to make sure that you use an oil that has a high fat content. Whenever you're using butter, for instance, the butter we're going to utilize today is actual real butter, natural butter. You don't want anything with margarine in it. You want as much fat content as possible. THC is going to be able to mix well and travel through the fat. So the fat that's found in your oils or that's found in your butter is pretty much going to be the transportation that it's going to utilize to get into your system and then get you blasted for a long time, hopefully, depending if your recipe is right. Okay. The first thing I want to talk about before getting into the processes are the little tools and the items that are going to come with your Levo. As you can see, when we open the actual Levo up, it's pretty simple. You're gonna have your empty reservoir inside, comes with a lid. The cool thing with this lid is it does have a lock option. So when the machine is actually in use, it does lock. So you don't have to worry about somebody accidentally opening it. If somebody were to accidentally open it, it's no biggie. It doesn't stop this, it stops the cycle, but then when you close the door back again, you can continue your cycle. So it's not gonna ruin anything, okay? So speaking about the little pieces that come with it, what you have here is this little metal chamber. I want to say it's like a steel grade stainless steel that has perforations in it. The idea behind this is once you grind your dry material, it would go inside the little herb chamber here. And when it gets put inside this machine, the Levo basically gets held inside with a magnet. The liquid would end up churning around and going through those little perforated holes and mixing and pretty much infusing with your dry herb material in here. What I'm going to be showing you guys as well too is the hack for getting a higher potency hack, which I'll be utilizing this little French press filter in order to pretty much skip this guy, which would only hold about 7 to 8 grams effectively, and it would allow us to use this, which this would be a filter allowing us to maybe go up to 10 to even 15 grams if we wanted to really increase the potency. Okay, going over in specific the little tools, I had already mentioned that you do get the stainless steel holder for the dry herb, the chamber. It does come with a little rubber perforated, I guess, little fixture. Goes inside like so. And then it would cover up with this little rubber piece here that would cover it up. Once you get your material filled inside, and once you have that going, that basically, I'm struggling here, there we go. That basically goes inside. It gets held with a magnet. So this is a little magnetic piece that's on the side, and it would go here. You would see that when you're looking at the machine top down or you're looking up front at it, it does have a little symbol or some little wording here inside the chamber that says place pod here. So that would automatically let you know where this pod needs to be placed. Aside from the pod, you're going to be receiving this little magnetic, it's almost like a little paddle system, and this is what churns or gets your liquid, your oil, mixing and infusing with your dry herb material on the inside. It's super easy to forget to put this piece back into the Levo when you're doing your infusion. Make sure you get this thing put in before you add your oil or your butter. You're also going to get the reservoir itself, which this is the chamber that holds your oil. It does come with this little rubber straw that connects towards the bottom. This is all super easy to clean, by the way. So after it gets utilized, you just kind of like throw it into the dishwasher, let it soak for a couple minutes and soap into your sink if you want. Super easy to wash. Once you get that connected, reservoir goes in. Initially, if you see that you have any type of trouble in getting the reservoir in, it's because towards the top of the Levo, you're gonna see a reservoir release button. When you hold that button, basically makes it so that you can put your reservoir all the way in. There we go. After that, if we're gonna decarboxylate, we would either go in with our stainless steel chamber, or in this case, we're gonna utilize our filter here. I'm walking here, all right? Fuck off. All right, so first steps in decarboxylation is to get le weed. So we're gonna be working with somewhat potent dosage here. We're working with 10 grams of our goodness, of our sweet, sweet goodness, you know. And let's drop this guy over here, get our weight going. Let's tear. All right, my broskies, now that we have the 10 grams of this goodness right here, you know, nature's best from the lawat, okay? We're gonna go ahead and get this infusion going, but before the infusion, we're gonna get the activation going. We're gonna decarboxylate. In order to do that, we're gonna go ahead and turn on the machine first. We're gonna turn on the Levo by holding this little power button. It's gonna give us that nice little sound, okay? We'll go ahead and open the lid. We're gonna go, and before we take this in and drop this goodness in, remember, we're going with the high potency hack. So we're going to put this filter in first, drop it in. We can't forget the little paddle, magnetic paddle that's gonna drop right in the middle. There we go. And now we drop in our goodness. Make sure it all goes in there. All 10 grams. That goes in there. We close our lid. Now we're gonna have some options. This right button or this button all the way here to the front, it controls our 3 options: our dry, our activate, our infusion. Right now we're gonna go ahead and press it, and it's gonna cycle through its modes. We're gonna press it again so that it can go to activate. And in order to then activate it, we're gonna press play over here. And it's gonna start warming up. Its activation is already preset to a specific temperature and to a specific time. And that's the right one you need anyways. Don't complicate your life. And you just set that up. It's gonna take about 40 minutes. So then when we get back, the next step is to immediately go into the infusion process, and we're gonna have our butter ready. All right, guys, we're back. Our decarboxylation is done, my Jeezys. Check out that thing right there. It basically looks like somebody ruined the fuck out of your weed. But fret not, all the goodness is still here. The very next thing that we're going to do is we're gonna actually do the infusion. Now the decarboxylation is ready. Remember, we had already put the filter for the increased potency hack. The one major thing that everybody can forget, at least I'm only speaking for myself and maybe some other videos I've seen online, you cannot forget to leave the little magnetic lever that kind of swirls around in there. It's also being helped around by this little paddle system that continues to swirl around as it's gonna do your infusion for the butter. All right, so let's not focus anymore on wasting time. We do have some butter that I have already pre-melted very slowly. You're gonna see it right here on the bottom. And this butter, I melted it very slowly, not microwave, just kind of put it over slow hot water over a slow simmer to get it melted. There are 2 cups of butter here. That's roughly about 4 sticks of butter. This isn't margarine, this is natural butter. I got the one with as much fat content as you can. That fat content, that saturated fat, is what you need for your THC molecules to go ahead and attach to that, and so that your baked goods can be as potent as possible. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna pour this in. All 2 cups. There we go. We're gonna go ahead and shut the lid. Now we're gonna go ahead and focus on the actual screen right here. And we're gonna get down to changing our cycles. The cycle that we're going in is not dry, not activate. We're going straight into infusion. Once you get infusion, you go ahead and press your start button. It's gonna begin its warm up. This entire process is gonna take about 2 hours or so. So the only thing you gotta do is find something to smoke on, or find something to watch, or find something to do. We're gonna be back in about 2 hours to show you the finished product. We can take a look at how this wonderful infusion looks right here. I'm gonna close this lid, because now what we're gonna focus on is going ahead and hitting the Mudging button right at the bottom. And what we're gonna do right here is we're gonna release the butter by pressing our button right here and holding it, and we're gonna watch the goodness drop. What I'm gonna do is I'll back up right here and get ready for my pour right onto my mason jar, because this is going straight in for storage into the refrigerator. Whoa, 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 whoa. There we go. Guys, it looks like we got our cycle done. What I'm showing you here on the table is our good butter that we did. Let me go ahead and open this up. Let me show you this goodness right there. 2 cups of butter. You see it all crumbled up. You know, before I had poured it into the mason jar, and then it got all kind of solid, so I had to stab at it, break it up into pieces to get it into this jar. It'll be comfortable later on when I do some cookies, some baking, some brownies, some pies. I don't know what the wifey's gonna do with it, but we're gonna enjoy it. That's what I can tell you. The other thing I'll show you as well too, I didn't show you the video of it, guys, before, but I did mention that you can also do your infusions for MCT oil. That's be anal retentive. There we go. So here's some MCT oil that I had infused before. I actually infused 2 cups worth of MCT oil. So as you can see, I've been already enjoying this oil. Not just this oil, but my friends too have been enjoying this as well. This is some good stuff, guys. The other thing I want to do is, guys, I want to give props to Jeff, the 420 chef. I had mentioned earlier that we were doing a potency hack for the Levo, and I actually snagged that idea and that inspiration from Jeff, the 420 chef. So big props to Jeff for giving us that idea so that we can do some real potent CannaButter for us today, okay? All right, my broskies, let's run a little session with the Cloud Senpai. Let's run a Cloud session real quick. I just want to be able to blaze it up with you guys and give you my thoughts on the Levo. So the Levo, I've used it 3 times in total. You guys obviously only saw the video of me doing the butter, but I've also used the Levo for the MCT oil. You guys saw the mason jar that I have with the MCT oil as well. But I've actually ran 2 batches of MCT oil. The first batch, I actually tried it with ABV just to give it a shot, just to see if it was actually potent. You'll be surprised that you can actually make some pretty fucking good infused MCT oil with that ABV. You can do the same thing with your butter as well. I probably wouldn't recommend it for the butter because it's gonna leave a little bit of a strange ABV flavor behind. With the MCT oil, you don't really pick on that because most of the times you get MCT oil, you're gonna take it with some sort of liquid, with some sort of juice, some soda, in your coffee, in your smoothie, in your protein juice, however the hell you take your liquids, you can basically take it in that. So you don't have to stress that. Let's take this hit right quick. Let's torch it up. I'm used to taking these things without the gloves, so I'm a little clumsy with the gloves on. I'll get used to that. Damn, that's good. All right. So giving you my thoughts, right? Potency's got to be one of the biggest things that you're thinking about. I ran the MCT oil experiment, gave it to a variety of different users, all the way from somebody who doesn't even use. And I ran different experiments, asking them, 30 minutes, what were you feeling an hour? What were you feeling hour and a half, 2 hours? And the results are, this shit is potent and it's good, right? So you don't have to think that this machine right here isn't capable of giving you some really good grade, dispensary grade, edible, type of liquid or butter. You can make that shit at home. Like, we're finally at that level where we can basically piece out the dispensary, make our shit at home, and get creative at home, man. That's the best part about this to me. So the MCT oil, fantastic. You mix it with your coffee, you mix it with whatever liquids. The butter, I haven't ran my experiments on the butter as far as potency is concerned, but if the MCT oil was pretty good and I did it with about 8 grams, I would imagine that the butter is going to be even better, considering that I ran the butter with 10 grams of weed to get that THC goodness, right? Altogether, man, this is a great little machine. Too simple to not use. If you're an individual that's going to make use of infusions, this is pretty freaking good, man. Very easy to use. I regret not being able to show you guys the app that it comes with. Quite frankly, if you're not going to use it for the app, you're kind of missing out. The ability to kind of change things on the fly, the ability to take a look at, from my room, where my infusion's at, how long it's still left on the timer. Really good stuff. Plus, the application itself has a bunch of recommendations on temperatures, time, depending on what kind of oil you're using, whether it's avocado oil, coconut oil, whether you're doing MCT, whether you're doing butter. It gives you good recipes. I believe, I can't confirm, but I would think that Levo would continue to add on to that application to bring new things and new little, electronic features onto that. But that's basically it, guys. I'll let you guys know this is my first video. I'm very excited to kind of jump into the fray when it comes to the topic around 420 lifestyles. My name is Cloud Senpai. I'm going to be bringing you guys a lot of videos, giving you the dopest tech in the industry, and showing you that 420 lifestyle, man. So hang around, subscribe to my channel, and you're going to see more videos to come in the future, man. Deuces.